Hey guys, welcome to the next episode. It's actually Tuesday today, almost the middle of the week, but something important has just come in, and that is my first shipment of like mods and just stuff, spare parts for the car. So I've got the docket here of what's come in. I think there's a few things on back order, but what we're going to do is we're going to pop this open and just see what's come in. They did call me and said that there are a few things out of stock. But essentially what it is, I'm just redoing some indicators and changing the color of them, as in the color of the plastic. I just want a different look. I don't want the orange indicators, and an intake kit and a new air filter. So I've just come home, so I kind of want to let the car cool down before I do the air filter. But I also bought a headlight restoration kit so I can make the headlights look brand new. There's been no reviews on this product, so I really don't know about how well this will go, but I ordered the stuff from Just Jap, and they have been kind enough to give me a $100 voucher of wine from Naked Wines. I'm not really a wine drinker. Either this is now the time to start getting into wine, or I'll give it to someone who I know would appreciate this. Otherwise, let's tear this bad boy open. Alright, so we start off with $100 wine voucher. Next, we have a strut brace for the engine. So it's like a big metal pole and plates on either side that just bolt onto the top of the car, on top of the engine like this. And this gives it a bit more stability, rigidness. Not gonna lie, bought it for the looks. It's got blue in it. It's chrome. Looks nice. Moving on. So this is the headlight restoration kit. Never done anything like this before. Apparently it's good. Apparently the guys at work use it, but I haven't done it yet, so hopefully it doesn't. Last thing I want to do is make the headlights worse. So that's that. I've got a headlight kit. Next thing we have a Blitz air filter, and this is just to replace my old air filter at the moment with the factory one, just because mine's getting a bit dirty. It's actually got a list of every car that it's compatible with. Let's see, Nissan Skyline ER34 99Z. Perfect, it fits. That's it. But I already knew that. I checked anyway. So there's that air filter. This is an Apexy air pod filter. So yes, it's going to be replacing the Blitz air filter, but this is like more of a bigger power mod. Well, like it's not huge power. It's not like you're gonna go like 50 extra horsepower, but it's a bigger upgrade. And I will save this for a separate time. I don't know how long. Like these filters are meant to last like 100,000 Ks. So I'll be putting the Blitz in first, and I'll do this pretty much whenever I feel like it. And then to go along with this kit are the plates. So they're like just a thin aluminium plate, and what it is, it's going to be like in a box like that, and inside will sit my air filter. Just to make the car legal and comply with all like the road rules and stuff. Very keen for this one. This is the one where I think, for my car, depending what you're running, this is pretty much, without blocking off your blow-off valve, this is what everyone hears, all the car guys dream about when they hear the so that would be lots of fun. I feel like a little kid. So I'm just waiting for the car to cool down, just because I don't want to really work in a hot engine bay. But all we'll be doing is putting this in and putting on the strut brace. But I'll see you guys in a little bit. Easy peasy. So it just sits like that. So we'll work on getting that off first and beating the rain. Holy shit. I think the rain beat me. Oh! That is tight. What the fuck? Hey guys, so I just finished playing around with the car a little bit. Didn't get to do too much. I didn't want to put the pod filter on because I was going to be putting the Blitz like factory replacement filter on. So here you can see my original filter, extremely dirty. There's a fly in it. It's just very worn out. So I thought instead of just cleaning it, might as well replace it. And then I was actually in the process of putting on the strut bar, but unfortunately, which is actually really surprising as well, unfortunately when I was putting it on, or when I mounted it, the bar was actually just touching the top of the engine bay, well, the engine itself. And when you put your foot on the throttle, the engine does turn a bit, like that's just what it's meant to do. It does move a little bit, so it is nudging the bar, which is not a nice thing. You don't want anything touching. You want a bit of clearance as well. And if you just imagine when you get to the higher RPMs, it's gonna move a lot more than it should, more than stationary and idling. So I won't be putting that strut bar on. I guess I'll be speaking to the guys at Just Jap and just see if I can get a refund for it, just because now there's no use for it for me. And then maybe one day I'll just try this cold air intake out. Otherwise, I will see you guys next when it is the weekend. Still the middle of the week and I'm working, so I guess I'll catch you guys later on in a few days time. Hey guys, it is Saturday afternoon. This is, I guess, the first recording of the week. Earlier in the week, I went and bought some parts online and they came in on Wednesday or something. And so I've just done something small. So I've put in a pod filter, just increase air intake, yada yada. All it does is really make a nice noise. This bar over here, I did try replacing that with one that I ordered, but they gave me the wrong sized fitting one. So I'm in the middle of sending my one back and they'll send me the proper sized one. Now, is the pod filter street legal? Yes and no. So with the pod filters, pretty much they're legal if your car already had a cold air intake. It just depends if your police officer is being nice or not. Like if you're going to give them attitude, obviously they're just going to defect you and then you're pretty much screwed. But yeah, so I did buy a box to enclose it in, but because of the intercooler piping that's been done to the car, I have to chop a few things. So right now we just have a little bracket over here that's kind of keeping this thing sturdy. That's actually a lot sturdier than I thought, so that's great. So we're gonna go for a test drive now, see if the car sounds different. It's not gonna be like boom 50 horsepower gains, but imagine that, bro, like 50 horsepower like from a filter. So we're gonna go have some fun now, see how it goes, and hopefully, I guess the test is one day I'll get pulled over and the cop will inspect my car and I'll just see what he says. If it is illegal, if he's going to be annoying about it, I've got the stock that I'm going to obviously keep just in case that happens. And then, yeah, I'll just put the old one back on. But for now, I'm just going to run with this, see how it goes, see if the car acts any differently. And let's get going with that. Hey guys, it is coming to the end of the weekend and I thought I would do kind of like a summary of my 2018. So I'm doing this a bit late, but that's pretty much because I've had my cousin staying with me since before Christmas and she's left not so long ago, and I was sick, and just the Christmas and New Year like festivities, as well as working throughout the Christmas break, kind of had a toll on me as well, just because like I had to keep up with that as well as all these family things and catching up with people and stuff like that. So here we are It is 2019. It is a fresh year. I don't really have a resolution. It's not that I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. It's just that I don't see the point in setting a goal for yourself for like the start of the year till the end. I don't see why you have to wait till New Year's to do that. I just think, if you got a goal in mind, think about it, plan it, set it, and just go for it, really. I think it's safe to say my 2018, my previous year, was insane. Like, so much has just happened. So yeah, we'll go through a quick rundown of what happened from start to finish. Sorry, still got a bit of a cough. We'll go from start to finish, and I guess this is also me on the fly reflecting on my year, because I haven't really thought about this before. I just thought of the idea, sure, let's shoot it. So at the end of 2017 actually, beginning into 2018, I decided to defer from university. I'm pretty sure I've gone into depth about why I did so before. Why I decided to temporarily leave uni. And long story short is, whilst I liked my area of study, I just lost motivation along the way throughout the years. If you went to uni with me, you would know like what happened, and just notice that I slowly went less and less. So I decided to defer uni for a whole year and see what would happen. When I did that, I made sure I had a full-time job lined up, just because I didn't want to be bumming around. So I was working. Okay, I didn't plan this. I was working for Gabriel Coffee. I was working for Gabriel Coffee, and I was working for my best friend Richard. I was working for his family at their cafe that they owned, and I was there for a while. Lovely family, amazing cafe. The regulars there were just really down-to-earth people, always passing by on their daily commute to work or school. So that was great. And then I got approached about, I didn't really get approached. Well, a friend of mine that I used to work with came up to me and was like, hey, are you looking for a new job or anything? I've got someone who's in need of a manager, like a supervisor role like that. And I've always wanted to work in a much bigger cafe. Don't get me wrong, Richard's cafe was amazing, lots of fun, but I did want something more commercialized, something bigger, and this was the perfect place in St. Leonard's. So then I moved there at about, I can't even remember. I'm just going to go ahead and say March, I think I moved there. Because I was still working for Richard's Cafe in 2017 whilst I was studying. I was doing a bit of part-time. So I left there, went full-time at this new cafe as head barista, supervisor kind of role, and I was chilling with that up until late May, early June, is when a company that my dad used to work for called me up and approached me asking if I was looking for a job in the industry. And the industry itself is audiovisual. So we kind of handle bigger organizations, corporate world and stuff like that, video conferencing, doing university fit outs, the lecture theaters you guys would have sat in. We do that, we install that, we look after it, things like that. So yeah, my dad's old company approached me and offered me an interview, not a job, an interview, because for sure I got the job through my dad. I wouldn't have got it without him, but I like to say that if I wasn't pulling my weight, they would have just let me go. So it wasn't all silver spoon. So I decided to be look, if I really decide I don't want to go back to uni and finish my degree, this is kind of a doorway for me with an amazing opportunity for me to get in this sort of techie electrical engineering field. And so I took it. I wasn't going to let that opportunity slide. I knew that I didn't want to be a barista for the rest of my life. I just started as a hobby with my love for coffee, and I just wanted to make it. So this was me turning the page and moving on to the second chapter of my life, I guess, for that year. And then unfortunately during the time, so I did the interview and it was all good, and they were like, when would you like to start? So I hadn't let the cafe know yet, so I was like, look, 2 to 3 weeks grace period, just for their sake. It's only fair. And they were like, that's cool, whenever you're ready, but when you start, you start. So I was like, that's fine with me. And unfortunately, around the same time I started work, sorry, this cough is like still lingering, so bear with me. I'm not going to cut it out just because it's just going to look stupid. Anyway, so unfortunately around the same time I started work, I came out, my girlfriend and I at the time broke up. So that was the end to a 5-year relationship, and as you could imagine, that was pretty tough for me. It was definitely struggle street, because like my emotions were just all over the place, and you know, that was like the last thing I needed when I was starting a new job. But that's life. You know, if life was perfect and everything panned out how you'd like it to, then to be honest, it'd be pretty boring. That sounds cheesy as heck, but that's just me. That's just like my view on things. Like if things are just too easy, I'd feel pretty bored without a challenge. So yeah, so that happened, and not only just like being sad about it all was being difficult. I was then also learning, I guess relearning my lifestyle and my everyday, what I do, how I spend my time, who do I hang out with. That was a big challenge for me. Just like when you date someone for that long, or for me at least, you kind of fall into a routine of like, oh, on Saturday I'm put aside time to hang out, stuff like that. And so obviously not being in a relationship anymore with that person, that Saturday would come and I would just not lose the plot, but I would just sit there like, what do I do now? So yep, that happened in June, about the start of my new job. And yeah, that was the turning point. That is where it pretty much just went uphill from here, and I'm still going uphill. This is like the craziest roller coaster. It's I can't make any more metaphors, but yeah, it's from then it's just been going up. Like at the start of joining this company, I was just known as Sen 2.0, which is my dad's name, Sen, if you haven't figured already. And whilst it was like haha, yeah, funny, like good laugh, good meme sort of thing, I felt a bit uncomfortable because I wanted to prove myself that I'm not just here because of my dad. Like I'm here as well to be serious about a new career, and I wanted to prove my worthiness to a certain point, because I stepped in that company and without even trying, people were already a lot more friendlier to me than some of the other workers, and I didn't want to upset anyone to be like, oh, John is so spoiled in the company kind of thing. So I wanted to really like start from the bottom and work my way up. I just feel like that's just fair. Like otherwise I wouldn't feel I accomplished anything. So I was working hard, meeting new friends, like new workmates and colleagues, and then I wouldn't say promoted, but I was given more opportunities within the company with bigger responsibilities. So I am now one of 2 or 3 people that's now in the service team, which usually requires a couple years experience, so you definitely know what you're doing. But they needed people in the service team, and they threw me in the deep end and said, look, if we can just train you and you can grasp these concepts and manage yourself, we have no problems keeping you in the team. So I've been looking after ANZ, specifically ANZ, the main building in the city. I've been there for quite a while now, maybe since October. So I really didn't have much experience at all beforehand. It was just like every day I was learning something new, which is great. That's continuing my infinite roller coaster ride upwards. So yeah, and then I decided to go as well, return to the gym, as you guys have seen in the previous videos. Like the goals I've been accomplishing with that, and just keeping it like a routine. And around, I would say, September, October, I was really working a really good routine, like work, gym, go home, like family, whatever, friends, maybe every now and then at night on the weekdays, if not weekends, as well as having time for myself. And then of course I started this YouTube channel. To be quite honest, I can't remember when I started putting videos on the channel. So anyway, so I started the channel, and that was the start of me doing things that I've been wanting to do for a while and just didn't. And it's not necessarily because my relationship held me back from doing it. I don't know. I think the last year of my relationship, I was a bit of like zombie mode, wasn't doing much with myself, kind of like on autopilot. So that was that. I was working at ANZ, I was gymming, I had my like weekly routine going. I was loving life, and I still am. And then it takes me to the end of the year, and the end of the year I was just doing the same thing, but I finished strong. I just feel a lot healthier physically, emotionally, and also like mentally, as in like I feel like my mental strength has just like buffed itself up so much. I wouldn't say that I'm quite a resilient person, but lately, with like small hiccups here and there, I found I've just been able to bounce back pretty well, whether it be like just negative words from someone, or you know, someone tells you something and it just kind of like dampens your day a little bit. It usually doesn't get to me too badly anymore, which is great. And then also at the end of the year, I got the skyline that I've wanted finally. And now the journey of turning this thing into an absolute monster has begun, and will continue to see through 2019. And obviously I'm going to keep the car. I love it. I'm going to keep the car for a very long time, try and look after it to the best of my abilities. And yeah, that's pretty much my 2018. I went from, not that this is bad, I went from a long-term relationship, stuck in uni with not really sure which direction I want to go, to working a full-time job now, loving it. It's very similar to engineering. Well, it is engineering, just not mechanical. Back at the gym, looking after my health, my body, eating correctly, hanging out with a new bunch of people. It's going pretty well. It is going pretty well. And in terms of the dating game, like, I don't. Just give me a second. In terms of the dating game, I wasn't really doing too much with it. I did see some people here and there. Some people I met at the gym and whatever. But I am dating someone at the moment. It's actually very recent, so if you're very close to me and talk to me a lot, like Richard, you're definitely gonna, this is the first time you're hearing it, so sorry, but I'll fill you in on the details when you're in Sydney in person. So yes, I am seeing someone now. It is very fresh. She's a wonderful person, and for the first time, well, I only dated someone for 5 years, so really I didn't date many people, but for the first time in a long time, I feel like this person like understands me a lot. And I like to say that I understand her and you know, her views on life quite well, which is pretty much why we get along so well. So yep, I am now seeing someone since the start, since the start of 2019, and I guess I'll see where that takes me. So yeah, Richard, you're on your way up from Canberra now, and this is something that's going to be huge. So I am looking to move out with Richard very soon. Well, I'm looking at places now, looking to buy. So hopefully Richard and I will be moving out. Yes, embracing our bromance even more. And I think that's really it. I'm pretty sure this is long, so I'm gonna have to cut this back, but I think that's it for my 2018 summary. I don't really see myself, like, I don't want to be famous. All I want to do is inspire people who watch my videos, and I guess put a smile on your face, entertain you a little bit with my life. I feel like I'm not the right person to give advice. I'm no motivational speaker, but I can safely say that 2018, my life has changed immensely, and you guys have now followed me along the way, which is very supportive as well. You guys have now seen, I guess, the slow steps of my life unfolding from the first video all the way to this one, which I think is which I think is video 24, vlog 24. So yeah, in 24 weekly videos, or some weeks I missed, but in 24 videos, you guys have seen the progress of my life unfolding and changing dramatically. So yeah, thank you everyone who has supported me along the way, whether it's, you know, watching the videos or just talking to me when I, you know, needed a bit of advice, bit of pep talk, things like that. Like, I know all of you have definitely helped in one way or another, so thank you very much for, you know, yeah, helping me out. I'm gonna wrap up the video here. Okay, this video has just dragged on way too long, so to be fair, I missed last week's episode, so that's why we'll just do a double. Anyway, that wraps up 2019. That wraps up 2018, guys. Again, thank you so much for all your support along the way. Like I said, it's just gonna keep going upwards, and I guess, yeah, we'll just see where life takes me, and I'll bring you guys along the way. So I'll see you in the next video then.